So I want to tell you something funny that just happened. I just went into my big spiel when we weren't recording, which is a bit embarrassing, and I'm such a professional. Good. This is Pitch the Pod with WSL legends Nikita. She always hits record, Parris, and Jordan. Re-record won't fade away, Nobbs. Every week they bring you topics straight from the pitch to this podcast as we discuss the biggest talking points from the world of football, the WSL and beyond. This week, a lion heart, some lionesses, and lots of lovely chat. First up, though, she has the best fans. She has a World Cup coming to her doorstep and knows our very own Nikita. It's one-time Manchester United and Birmingham City, now Corinthians and Brazil's Ivana Fuso, who joined us to talk all things Corinthians, the Champions Cup, penalties, and weather. Lots of weather. Ivana, this is one of those rare moments. Actually, it happens quite a lot where I wish we'd been recording before we actually started recording, because you are an absolute joy. Yes. I mean, we might all get fired, but yes. Exactly that. No, none of the sort. I thank you for coming on. It's lovely to meet you in person, having watched you marauding down a pitch and being brilliant. But I know you all know these two well, Jordan and Nikita. And of course, you played with Nikita. So let's start, because you said you love gossip. Tell me any secret you like about Nikita.
Nah, the only gossip what I can say that she's an amazing person. Always laughing, making sure that people are fine around her and that everyone is happy. And yeah, I love that about her.
This is exactly why we've been saying that, we should all go out to Brazil, because I think we'd all fit in quite well, apart from the dancing and apart from everything else. And Nikki?
You will learn it.
No, you've not seen me dance. I'm not good at learning anything.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's no help in that one.
All right. Nikita, tell me about when you two used to play together.
Well, when I met Ivy, I'd just moved to Manchester United that summer. She came back from on loan, and when I seen it, I was just like, what a bright spark. Like, the girl was, she said I was always smiling. This girl was always smiling, and the weather in Manchester was shocking. It was always raining, and it was always grey, but she'd always be wanting a good time, dancing, just having a laugh with the girls, and just making training fun. She was definitely someone that brought the banter, I would say, for sure. For sure.
So you miss it then, Ivana? The weather.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, the weather or not, like I would say I miss the people, like kids. There was like when Alessia Russo was there, Martha Harris, like these kind of people. I miss Mary Earps. Mary Earps is like so funny. Ona Badley, like that was one of my best mates. Yeah, like these people I miss so much, but of course, we have still contact, like me and Ona Badley. But yeah, the weather, of course, I don't. It's not mine. It's not mine.
So, tell us all about Corinthians, and also tell us the difference between Brazilian life and English life in terms of football, even on and off the pitch. Like, what are the biggest differences?
I think like the biggest difference is like the facilities. Like in England, you have like everything basically. Like apart from like pitch side, basically like the gym is like amazing. You have like basically everything from the men's, right? You like training in stadiums and like the pitches are so good. But like in Corinthians, the gym is amazing. Like our facilities are good, but like from the other clubs, like they're like so bad. Like I mean that is like the kind of difference. Like there's so many clubs, they don't have like a lot of money, so they're like really behind. But if we look as well like to the top clubs like Palmeiras, Cruzeiro, they have like good facilities as well. Like they are like building, and I hope like in a couple of years, like now with the World Cup as well, that everything's like improve a little bit more, because I feel like the how you say, the level is not like far away, you know. Like we been there, we played against Scotland. Of course, we was not like 100% fit. I mean, we just had like 3 weeks, and even 2 weeks, like just like holidays of. So I mean, yeah, I think like that is like the big of difference, like for the smaller clubs. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you obviously about your fans. I think we have to speak about your fans, don't we? I mean, just insane. And I think it like how you've been in the WSL, obviously traveled around the world. I think they mean so much to us, don't they, when they play? But it's one thing in the game that's just changing. But yeah, I think your fans were next level, and just how much does that like warm your heart? I think because that's why we play football, don't we? We want to see that reaction from people.
Yeah, it's like amazing. Like, um, I didn't thought that so many are coming because we have so many people in Brazil, right? Like fans wise. But then people from Dublin, Lisbon, Scotland, like from everywhere. They came from everywhere. Like, and they're like really passionate. That is like Brazil. Like, we're really passionate about football. And the fans, like Corinthians fans, they're crazy. Like you see it, they're like 90 minutes standing, singing, dancing. And that is like the different as well. Like if you would come here, like to our stadium, to the men's game, nobody's sitting. Everyone is standing and singing, and that is like crazy. It's like insane. Like and then when we played as well, like in the stadium from the men's, the stadium was really full and loud, and they're like, yeah, they're really passionate. Like even if we lose the game, oh my god. So yeah, they're like really crazy, and I feel like that was a key point for us as well, like having that support, because they was like behind us, and we want to like to show, like even like England, or like show the world like what capable we are, like. And yeah, I hope we showed it a little bit.
You definitely did.
Yeah, you did.
You definitely did. Like that tournament for you guys, playing against Gotham, and then as you said, you probably wasn't at your best form because you'd just gone into like a new start of a season, and so you wasn't at your tip top shape. But watching you even against Arsenal and how you stuck to a game plan of sitting in, and then when you got your moments, you took them. I thought you really showed the team, and you should be proud of
Yeah,
yourselves.
it was like a proud moment, but even like a sad moment. It was like of kind of both, because we want to go like to the penalties, because we knew like if we go to the penalties, it's like luck, like. And sometimes the luck can be on your side or like on Arsenal side. And I feel like because we have two goalkeepers, they're like crazy on penalties. Like they're so good. We like said no, go back, because Arsenal, they was like fit, like they was in season. There was like, we knew about that. Like they like flying. They was winning Champions League. They're like in like one of the best teams, right? So yeah, we was sticking to the game plan, and we just run. I mean, I was running all my life. Yeah, that was so funny. I was like dying. I was just running and running and running, and I was like hoping to God, like, please come to the end. How many minutes left?
No, that's tough.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was close. I thought to make to the penalties, that will be like crazy. Like that will be like a crazy game. Because nobody thought that we will, um, yeah, like try to compete and have that same level as Arsenal. So yeah, yeah, people was like saying, oh, they will win 5-0, 4-0. That was like the same as Gotham. And like Corinthians is like that. You never doubt. You never should doubt us. Like you can't, because we like, if someone doubt us, then well, you should respect and then see what is going on. Like, but it's always like that. People doubt, people but then they will see, because we talk on the pitch, we don't talk outside. That's our Brazilian, like we never talk outside. We never say like, oh, we better than Gotham, oh, we this. Now, I feel like we more like feet on the ground and we talk on the pitch. So yeah.
And I think if it had gone to, imagine if you're an Arsenal player taking a penalty at that end with the Corinthians fans behind the goal, like how would you even compose yourself to take that penalty? And like Corinthians would, but if you're an Arsenal player facing that,
Yeah, no, they would make so much pressure. They will make so many noise. They will like shout something bad, and like they would try to manipulate like everything. They would do everything. Like if we would go to the penalties, that would be crazy. Like so that's why I thought like there was like some, it was like so close. That was like my feeling when I was like proud. Of course, because we went like so far, but I was like, do you know this feeling like, oh my God, it was so close, like, ah.
Only if.
But yeah,
Only if.
yeah. So that was like the kind of feeling.
you before we hit record, as well as some other things, but you were talking about the difference in style of play between playing in England and then playing in Brazil. Can you tell us a bit about that and what, because it's sort of what Nikita was saying, but you were saying that in England it's kind of very one way, but different in Brazil.
Yeah, like, yeah, like sometimes in England it was like, yeah, punch the ball forward and then the fast people run. Like, good luck. Like sometimes it's like punch the ball forward and go. And I feel like in Brazil's like more play, like they try, even if on the high press, they try to play. Of course, sometimes you need the longer ball, but like we try to play on the feet, like to get on the high press out. And of course, like against Arsenal, we thought like, nah, we can't do that. They're like 100% fitter than us. Like if the press is like amazing, I would say. Like they cut like one side and the ball stays over there. Like you don't have any chance to go to the other side. So I mean, yeah, so that's like a little bit the difference. Like we try to play more, and and I feel like in England, there's like some of teams they try to play, yeah, but yeah, sometimes like just ball forward and yeah.
It's all about the points, eh? All about, what's the fastest way to win the game rather than. I feel like sometimes in
Yeah,
England you have to weigh up the fact that points on the board or entertainment for the fans. In Brazil, I feel like your fans would always be entertained with the way football is played. Like football is a culture for you guys. Like it's an amazing experience. Anytime you go to watch a football match, be a part of a football match. Like anytime I've seen anything of Brazil, people are on the beach, they're playing football. It's like,
yeah, that
do you know
is
what I
true.
mean? Like it's a whole order within your country, whereas in England, most of the time, it's like, how do I get to the next level? How do I compete with the next level? So it's not about the most beautiful game. It's all about how do I win? It's like a winner mentality kind of thing. Yes, of course, some teams can have both, but that depends on, first of all, resources, support, depth and quality of your squad. So many teams in England, like if you were saying before about the gap in quality in terms of the league as a whole, that's still a case within England. There's top 4 teams, top 5 teams, but then there's a massive gap. And there's just not enough players currently at the moment that teams can invest in that's going to bridge them gaps. Not saying that there won't be, but it's also like all the teams are looking for a certain quality of player, and when the more likely them players are going to go to top 4 teams because that's where they believe is the quickest way they're going to win trophies or stuff like that. So then the quality just filters down. But you need a lot of depth within a league, within player quality, to be able to bridge them gaps. If you're like a Brighton, if you're like a West Ham, a Liverpool, like it's not easy to recruit, you know?
Go on, George. Sorry, I walked all over you.
No, I was going to say about just what you were saying about playing smart sometimes. I think going in when you've obviously not been in as many times as what Arsenal were, it's smart doing the things that right, miss out their front press. When I watched the game, I thought yous were brilliant. I think you ran yourself to the ground. And it was so good to watch though, because it was like an underdog team were going, we're not just gonna let you play us on your home turf and it just be an easy game. And yeah, no, it was so good. But I think in football you have to think smart. And yeah, I actually really wanted it to go penalties. I wanted it to go to that drama of football, because it was such a good game for the neutrals. It was great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like my friends, they were like, they texted me. They're like, "Oh my god, what was that game? You gave me a headache the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
do you want me like to die or like?" Like, I mean, it was hard. Like, the girls are not like used to the English weather. It was freezing on the final. Oh my
Raining.
god.
Raining.
That's why we arrived like a little bit earlier to get to used to the weather, because here in Brazil we like playing on 30 degrees, 36 degrees under hot sun, and then you come to the cold weather. Like, I'm used to a little bit, but the girls are like, "Oh, when we going they're like this in training, they're like, "Oh, I want to go back, please, can we go back?" That was like, or they're like, "Oh, it's okay. We saw London now and we can go back."
Done it, tick. Yeah. I can't
Oh.
even.
So
I know
yeah.
we need to let you go in a minute, but I just want to ask you about what the World Cup is going to be like, because we just got a taster of just how brilliant Corinthians were, and you as players and the fans. But I know you went back to Corinthians to make sure that you could be part of this squad. Fingers crossed if it happens. But what would that be like for you to be part of a World Cup in Brazil?
I mean, that is like the dream. I mean, having a World Cup here, well, it will be amazing. Like, with the fans. I mean, if I would be not playing football, I want to like to go and watch, like, and even like just to be in Brazil, but because uh the weather, the people. I mean, the whole culture, it makes you happy. Like, you will come to Brazil and then you won't say, "Ah, I don't want to leave." Like, that's the thing. So many tourists coming here to Brazil and they're like, "Ah, I don't want to leave," because they're like so simple. Like, there's so many people there, they don't have nothing, and they're like still like caring about person. And I mean, like I said, if people don't know you and then they welcome you like family, like it's just like it's a stranger, and then they're like, "Oh, how are you?" And then they want to know you about your life. And yeah, I mean, I think it will be amazing for Brazil as well. Like, I think, like, I hope then, even with the World Cup, it will get invest more. Like, I hope that the men's teams helping like more the women's, but like facility wise and investment, I hope like it could get improved more. Like, even Mexico's now investing more, that people go more over there. So I hope that is coming. And I hope that people see it as well, that Brazil, the league of Brazil, it's crazy. Like, you have so many games. Like, it's crazy. Like, in England you don't have such a big competition, but in Brazil you have like more than four competition. And then, like, even like our league game, like your normal league game, the first four, like, they will qualify for the semi-final, and then you play like home and away, and then you go to the final, home and away. So you have so many games, and that fall competition is the same thing. Like, you qualify and then you win the whole thing. So it's crazy. Like, I don't know why they do this.
Excitement.
Yeah, for
That's
the
why.
fans.
More football. We like that.
Yeah, but it's crazy because you have like so many games in the week. You don't train basically here. You train less and you play more. It's actually nice. Well,
Yeah, it
that's a
sounds
lot of
good.
things.
It sounds really good.
It's what we want.
Yeah, too right. Well, we'll let you get back to playing and not training. But Jordan, Nikita, anything else you want to ask?
No, thank you for your
No.
honesty and your brightness. I love it.
Yeah.
Never change, girl.
Yeah.
Never change.
We need a little dose of you in our life once a week, and yeah, we'll come over to Brazil as well. I mean, I think we could handle that. I think we could handle that. We'll do a little pod trip.
Yeah, you should. You should.
right.
Because in England, it's not easy, guys. I can feel you.
Hey, the sun shines on us, or not. Ivana, lovely to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on. All the best of luck for all 4 competitions. And for playing, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see you in the World Cup too. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, guys.
Take
See you
care.
there.
How joyful she should be on the NHS. She's better than vitamin C. Nikita, she must have been brilliant as a teammate.
No, she's got so much energy, and literally that is Ivy all of the time. Like, that is exactly my first experience of her. I was like, who is this girl? I love it. Like, the energy, just the pure joy for football. And when she gets on the pitch, she's the same. She's like Brazilian through and through. Like, on the pitch, she likes to entertain, like, in every way. So I wish her all the best in Brazil.
It would have been great, Jordan, seeing her still with Birmingham City, although I don't know how you would feel about coming up against her, but
Yeah, no, we're all right.
no, it's fine. Well, now we know she keeps running. Yeah, exactly.
She's happy over there in the sun.
Yeah, she definitely is. But like she told us that she had to sort of go back to Corinthians to be in with a chance of playing for Brazil because of how they're going to pick the squad. But it would be good, right, to see her come back in the future if she wants to. Although, like you said, why would you want to when you've got everything there? But having those different cultures, personalities, vibes within the dressing room must be a good thing and must help that kind of real team.
Yeah, it's just the best. Obviously, even at, when I was at Aston Villa, obviously, Gabby's there. And, just the kindest soul, like, it's so nice meeting people that have been in so many different journeys and different countries. And I think it makes us better people because sometimes you get different perspectives of life or, how they grew up playing football. And it's a breath of fresh air. So, yeah, hopefully she can come back. I think you do make them sacrifices, don't you, to go play for your country, which is, I mean, good luck to her. That's the right thing to do and get to that tournament. But yeah, it'd be great to have people like that back. Like Keith said, I mean, energy for a team like is just what you always want.
I can't even begin to think what it'll be like. A Brazil World Cup would just be
so good.
Another level. You might need ear defenders. This is Pitch to Pod with Nikita and Jordan. We've had Ivana Fuso on the pod. Let's bring in another brilliant voice and conversationalist now, Erin Cuthbert. She's been chatting to Pat Davison about all things Chelsea, not sleeping, the departure of Paul Green, and getting their mojo back.
I think people forget that, football is a job. We absolutely love it, and don't get me wrong, it's the best job ever. But that doesn't mean it comes without challenges. And for those, it is tough times in the season. I have struggled to sleep. I've, been a bit snappy at my family on FaceTime, and it just happens because you care. It might be out of reach, and all we can do is try and win every single game. Is it going to be enough if Manchester City win every single game or even the others? No, it's not going to be enough. Paul's been such an integral part. I don't think there's enough words in this interview I could say to honour the guy. He gave me my first contract, like I said. I remember sitting Wagamamas and, the amount of trophies he's won. He built it from the ground up, this place. And, like I said, there's never going to be enough words to thank the guy, and he's left it in a great place.
Right, Erin Cuthbert, talking about the effects of it. I think Pat was clearly struck by, and because she then repeated it, she said it before about not sleeping when everything's like when you're replaying a game. Are you two like that post game? What I could have done. Your adrenaline's going to be high anyway, isn't it? Because of just pushing yourself to that limit, but not being able to let that moment go.
I think when you're 100%, George. I think they're very same. Like when the adrenaline, your emotions are so high anyway from a football game, regardless of result, regardless of how you played. trying to sleep that same night is very difficult, especially depending on the time of the game. But also expectation and pressure. And even though people will say, well, pressure is what you perceive it to be, which it is at times, but you also want to give your best and try and always do the right thing to win. And it doesn't necessarily always pan out that way. And Chelsea have been so used to winning. It's very difficult when a moment like now has arrived, which it was always going to happen. They wasn't always going to be the best team. They wasn't always going to win. And I think with obviously Manchester City being top of the table, but I think not just that. We see what happens in a league game, but also what's obviously happened behind closed doors is also having an effect on the team, which it will with any establishment. What happened inside always has a massive effect on what happens outside.
I think especially when you've won probably as much as players like Erin Cuthbert as well, it's that even bigger. We probably don't talk about the football world like feeling like a bubble. You know, it's like you're sucked into this such like football life all the time, and it's not just the past like 10 years. It's since you were tiny growing up. You know, we've played it for so long now, and the game, the pressure. You know, we've all had a lot of sleepless nights, and I think what was nice about Erin's conversation was we probably talk about injuries a lot and how that affects us, which is, you know, the right thing to do. We want to hear people's conversations, but we probably don't talk about maybe what people go through just day to day, week to week in football, and how that does. You could win one game one week and then lose the next, but that can still be a lot of stress and mentally a lot of different emotions for each individual person. You know, we hate losing, and football becomes such a big part of our life that it takes over. Like she said, you know, you can get angry or annoyed at your loved ones because you're frustrated about the game. I mean, I've got in the car multiple times with Erin, and I've like not spoke for about 3 minutes, you know, and she understands, you know, they become your people, don't they? They understand your trait. But I'm like, if I speak, I'm just gonna rant, you know, I'm gonna be like, and it's not gonna help. So yeah, there's Keita, I'm sure you're exactly the same. There's different ways you deal with it, but there's so much emotion in football, and like she said, they're not a down and out team, and I think it's really good that she aired that, and you know, shows how hard that they're working behind the scenes as well. There's a lot going on at clubs and with individuals.
And it's also really difficult to understand what a person's going through if you're not in the same environment. The one thing I don't like when people say is, oh, but it's just a sport. Football's just a sport. I can't stand, like, it's just a sport to you, but for me, it's been my whole life. I've been training hard each and every single day to provide people with entertainment, first of all, but to be the best version of myself. And obviously, that's not always going to be the case. At times, I'm not going to be perfect. At times, I'm going to make mistakes. But when it's hard to try to understand them emotions and try to deal with them emotions, as well as everyday life and, you know, your personal life, when your family, your friends, and maybe even your partner just don't quite understand. And sometimes the one thing that I found is when my family, we don't talk about football when I'm home. When I come home, I love it when my mum, because she doesn't like football in terms of it's not something that she is a go-to for her. So when I come home, we talk about everything else but football, and I think now I can breathe. Like now, there's 24 hours, I don't have to think about everything that's going on, and I feel like that's can be so important for a person to be able to have that break away from, you know, everything else that's going on, especially when things aren't going your way, and it's not just on the pitch but off the pitch. It's a lot to deal with as an individual, especially when you're so used to winning. That must be so difficult as well. Like, we're talking about a team that's constantly won. the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years have won. They're used to winning. It's very difficult to now navigate times when it's not going the way they want it, but they're only going to be better because of it.
I was going to say to you both, actually, when we were chatting to Kirsten Kasper, and you probably think, oh, daft question, but sometimes I wonder whether, they lose a game and it's almost that relief of what it's done. Like, because I wonder if you're always waiting for, I know you don't want to lose a game, but in those highs and lows and those is it going to be this week? What you're so close to that might obviously tip you over the edge in a good way sometimes, as in you keep winning because you've got that habit. But I wonder at what stage, like with Arsenal, when they're going unbeaten, and then it ends. I wonder if there's a little bit, everyone will stop talking about it now. I won't get reminded about it. I know it's me as a journalist or whomever asking the question, but you're always being asked about that moment and the run and you have no break from it, Jordan. Like, there is no break from it because either your body's telling you you're playing or your mind's telling you you're playing and you've got the next thing to do.
Yeah, and you don't mind the good ones. You don't mind you're on a run, because I still think you don't mind that pressure or that little bit on your shoulder. Well, I never did. I think that's like you still have that confidence and momentum that doesn't kind of derail you. But I think it's when something goes wrong and you don't always know how to change it. You don't know, you could have the same team, the same manager, and things are just not going your way, and it's very hard. You've got so much staff, so much analysis, so many different players who could be going through a million different things. You don't always know the right answer, and I think that's when it's very hard to maybe us as footballers to show how we're feeling, because we do kind of put our football face on. We answer the right things and we stick together, and rightly so. That it's how we're brought up from the age of 10. But sometimes in your head you're thinking, how do we get out of this? I'm not sleeping, I'm not doing this. But our answer will be, you know what, we're just taking it game by game. Next week we're gonna, do as best we can to get the 3 points. But there's lots of other conversations going on in your head that, the outside don't hear, because you have to have that brave face and that belief. Yeah, you have to I guess be confident that you're going to go out and change something, because we're all trying to be the best we can be.
I think there's a massive difference between losing a game but knowing that as a team, maybe the other team was just better, but as a team you feel that confidence of you're on a run. And even though maybe one result hasn't gone your way, actually over the course of the season you've felt a certain way. Like Kasper, I spoke about Manchester City and the confidence that they have, and she says it's not because of not being in Champions League, and everyone else may think that way. So there's a certain air of confidence that no matter what competitions they would have been in the season, they was destined for what they're producing. Whereas on the other hand, for Chelsea as a team, even though they haven't lost many games, but it's the way they're losing, the performances, even when they're winning, it's not quite clicking. And then you have someone like Paul Green, who's been instrumental in their recruitment, in their behind the scenes, how he's been able to recruit players and staff members to help that team become who it is. And then suddenly he's gone. And although from the outside looking in, he might not have been an instrumental key figure who we would have said that's who helped them win the league. He was a key component. But for the players inside and the staff inside, he was. And then when you lose someone like that, it's like, what next? Who's going to be next? What's going to happen next? And then there just starts to be an undercurrent of emotions, and you're thinking, when are we going to get back to the days of when we was winning, when everything was going well? How do we get there? Because maybe it's not the same process to the winning part as it was in the past. And for now, maybe they have to think of a new strategy or new way of doing things. But also remember, you've got then the expectation of the fans who Sonia loses one game and they want her out, although she's just won the treble last season. You see all of them emotions and all them little things start to add up, and it causes a bit of uncertainty around the team, and although as a team, and as Jordan says, as members of the team, you will always say nothing gets in and nothing gets out. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not hearing it and you're not feeling it, but you're trying your best to like bat it away. You know what I mean, Jord?
Yeah. It's like you're not you can't in football, you can't take people's opinion too much to heart, because you just couldn't be in the sport. It's it's a game where people watch you and they're going to judge and have their opinions. Of course, we all watch football and we all have our opinions on it. But yeah, like Keith said, it's more little things build up, and it can become something, even if it's in the back of the mind. It's something that you see and you feel. You feel that little bit of pressure or that little bit of voices that are just coming from here or there. Every interview, it's the same question. How do you turn it around? Like, it's like when you get injured. Oh, are you? How's your injury? Are you waiting to get? It's the same turnover. The only thing I would say is all the. Don't know if you feel the same, Keith. All that hard stuff I've been through, it's still worth every bit of that winning feeling when you win again. And you think, I know I went through them horrible times, them tough times, but when you get back to winning ways, and I'm pretty certain that Chelsea will manage to turn it around, whether it's this season or next season. But when you get back to them winning ways, it's the best feeling. And it makes you realize why you went through some of them times to make you stronger and better.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Chelsea will find their feet again, and they will become a formidable force because of the experience in which they're going through now. Because sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to fall down to get yourself back up and think, I'm going to do whatever it takes to not find myself in that position again. Or if I do find myself in that position, I have the keys and the elements to be able to overcome whatever I had in the past, because I've been through that experience before. And I feel like everyone in the Chelsea dressing room would rather prepare to fail than fail to prepare. They'll be giving their everything, even though this season might not go as according to plan. They're thinking, I'm going to do everything to try and close that gap for them points, try and win whatever competition we are in. And if we don't, well, whatever we go through during from now to that time, we'll be better prepared next season. That if no matter what comes our way, we'll be ready. And I think that's the elite mindset of top teams and top players, and they have an abundance of that.
Well, you can watch the full interview with Erin Cuthbert and Pat Davison. It's on the Sky Sports WSL YouTube channel. There is so much more I wanted to talk about sleep aids, about other things, technology, taking your stats, how that all plays into it. Maybe we'll get back to that. Very interesting, sleep aids. I'd really like to talk about that. Well, I would, actually. Maybe in the future we might talk about that. But I do want to just touch on a couple of other things with you both, because it's been a long one, but a worthwhile listen this week. So thank you both. Just briefly, Nikita, what a header. Jordan, how good was that? Did you enjoy?
I know. I was like, yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I loved it. That was it. Tick. And two of your teammates back in the Lionesses squad, Poppy Pattinson, first ever Lionesses call up, has her head exploded. How is she? Did she enjoy that moment? Have you talked to her?
Well, I'm sure she definitely enjoyed that moment. And, she's worked so hard. I played with Poppy at Brighton and now at London City, and I know how hard she's worked, and she's had to wait a time and bide the moment, but now she has an opportunity to really showcase her talent, which she has been doing during the season and previous seasons. And yeah, I'm sure she's absolutely made up and she deserves it.
Yeah, a bit of change. Ellie Roebuck's back. Leah Williamson, Lauren James, Alex Greenwood, Hannah Hampton. They're all in after injuries. Jess Carter's back in as well. So those various games, we'll talk about those, I'm sure, in the future. But we're off for a little break for a bit. Doing anything good, you two? You're playing FA Cup?
I am on Monday.
Should we
in
come and
Tottenham.
watch?
Monday night footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of Monday Night Football. So I'd like to see all the fans there. Thank you very much.
Do go and watch. Jordan, going anywhere nice for your holidays?
Getting
Training.
a few days off. So yeah, training, and then might be going to Paris for 2 days.
Lovely. Anything
Yeah.
exciting happening? Oh, maybe we'll talk about that when you're back. I'm already excited to find out what's happening in Paris. You two are magnifique. That was just for you. Just in case you want any more French tips, I'm here for you. I am your Google Translate. Other translators are available, just not like me. The WSL goes on the big break then. FA Cup, then the international break. London City take on Spurs. They're at home. Go and watch that Monday night. If you have a question for Nikita or Jordan, you can get in touch. Use the hashtag #PitchToPod. They could be answering it on this show. Jordan, by the time she comes back from Paris, could be answering it in French. We already know that Nikita is if not trilingual. How many languages do you know, Nikita?
Just say 2.
Okay,
Just
two.
the 2.
Two? That's 2 more than
Bilingual.
me, as this podcast frequently proves. Goodbye.
Au revoir.
Guten
Bonjour.
Tag. Oh, yeah. All right.
Bonjour. Comment tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle. J'adore le foot.
Oui, bien, très bien.
Boot. Isn't that goal? B-U-T?
Boot.
Yeah.
Boot.
Boot. My boots loose about this house. I'm going now. Bye.
Yeah, really. Goodbye.
Au revoir.